Hey everyone, today we're finishing up our review of the Hyphen Mattress. So we've been on the mattress now for a week, so I've got a lot of good information to share with you today. We'll do a few tests, show you a few different things on the mattress, and then we'll give you our final recommendation on who we think should give the Hyphen Mattress a try. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to talk first today about the construction of the Hyphen Mattress. So I've got the cover unzipped. I'm going to have to cut the fire sock here just to show you guys the inside. I wouldn't recommend doing that on your own mattress, but I want to be able to show you the inside of the foams here. Alright guys, now that we got it opened up, we'll talk first about the top layer on the Hyphen Mattress. So this is a foam, what they call the Hyphen foam. So it's a custom foam and it's infused with copper. It kind of has the consistency of a cross between memory foam and latex. So it's got good bounce and good body conformance at the same time. It's also aerated, so it's going to have holes punched in the top of all the way through that top layer of foam, which aids in air circulation and cooling on the mattress. Just to give you a better idea what I'm talking about, similar to how this pillow is aerated, it's got holes punched through it. So that will help with circulation. And then underneath you have another 2-inch layer of transitional polyfoam. That's going to be another layer to draw heat away from that top layer, as well as add additional body conformance and support underneath the top comfort foam. And then on the bottom is a 6-inch foam core, so it's a total of 10 inches thick. So in addition to aiding in cooling, the copper-infused foams are also supposed to be antimicrobial and hypoallergenic. So that's something you might want to consider as well. I'm not 100% versed on how well that works in the mattress scenario, but you can certainly probably dig a little bit more into that if it interests you. Alright guys, we're going to switch gears a little bit here. We're going to talk about how the mattress feels and how it performs in each sleeping position. So I give the Hyphen about a 6 to 6.5 on the firmness scale, depending upon your weight. If you're a heavier person, it's going to feel a little bit softer. But the overall feel of it is very nice. The top Hyphen foam conforms very nicely to your body. Like I said, it kind of is a cross between the feel of latex and memory foam. It's got immediate response when you lay down, and it conforms nicely to your lumbar when you're sleeping on your back. One problem area for a lot of people is side sleeping, so I like to really look at how the mattresses perform while sleeping on your side. And the Hyphen is certainly soft enough and forgiving enough to sleep on your side where you're not getting a lot of pushback up on your shoulder and your hips. So and my spinal cord is also in a straight alignment. In our sleep trial, I slept on my side the majority of the time. We test all 3 positions, but it performs very well for side sleeping. And on my back, it conforms to my lumbar very nicely. Once you sink into the comfort layers and then hit that foam core, it's very supportive underneath. That top foam is still soft enough as well, where even my feet and my elbows are conforming into the foam fairly easily. And then if you're on your stomach, it's still firm enough to where I'm not getting a lot of lower back arch. And it performed well in all those positions in our sleep trial. So as you can see, I'm not getting a ton of lower back arch where a lot of times you can get lower back pain if that's happening. I'm sinking into the first layer very easily. That transitional layer is a little bit firmer, so once you hit that, you can feel it's very supportive underneath. So the overall feel of the Hyphen will lend itself very nicely for those of you that like to sleep in all 3 sleeping positions. If you are a stomach-only sleeper, you might want to consider getting something a tad firmer, but otherwise it should work good for the rest of you out there if you like to toss and switch it up between those positions. Now we'll take a look at the responsiveness of the foam on the Hyphen. I touched on this a little bit, but if I push down, you can see the foam pops up almost immediately. The top layer is going to take the longest, but it's very responsive. So if you are to adjust positions, if I roll over, it pops up right behind me, where some slow-moving memory foams can take a bit longer to pop up behind you, making it harder to roll about and switch positions. We'll look at the bounce as well, give you a sense of the bounce with my weight. So it bounces up a little bit, which is nice because that shows also that you're not going to have a stuck feeling in the Hyphen mattress if you're trying to move and adjust positions. Now we'll take a quick look at the motion isolation on the Hyphen. I'll put my bottle here, we'll drop the weight, and then I'll also get on the mattress. So as you can see, the bottle's barely moving when I drop that weight. Also get on here, adjust positions. So if you or your partner moves around a lot, you're not going to feel that motion transfer nearly as much on the Hyphen, especially if you compare that to a traditional innerspring. Now we're going to take a look at the edge support on the Hyphen. So a lot of people think that edge support's not that important. I demonstrate sitting on the mattress and then laying on the mattress. Why it's important is if you have kind of a roll out of the bed feeling or an ejected feeling when you're laying close to the edge, it limits the amount of sleep surface you're able to use. And that's very important on a queen or a full, especially when there's two of you in the mattress. You're not going to want to sleep closer to the edges if you're feeling like you're rolling out of the mattress. Not as important on a king, but it's still a good thing to have good edge support. And a lot of times on foam mattresses, the edge support when you're sitting isn't very great, but the Hyphen has a pretty decent foam core in it. I'm not bottoming out when I bounce on it. If I bounce really hard, I can bottom it out, but when you're laying dispersed on the mattress, you're not going to have any issues with that. So it's fairly average for a foam mattress when you're sitting on it. Let's take a look when I lay on directly on the edge. So even with part of my body hanging over, I'm still not getting an ejected feeling from the mattress. So it's performing like it should on edge support for laying down. So if you are somebody that's a couple buying a full or a queen, you're going to be able to use the entire sleeping surface for sleeping. We'll talk briefly about how the Hyphen performed with temperature. So in our sleep trial, we didn't experience any excessive heating or excessive sweating at all. The copper infused top layer also being aerated, it disperses heat very efficiently. We're going to do a quick test with my hand and the thermal camera, but also stay tuned. We're doing more in-depth temperature tests on all the mattresses we've tried, where I'll be laying on them for 20 minutes and taking temperature readings along the way, and then for 20 minutes after we're off the mattress, taking temperature readings along the way as well. So stay tuned for those coming up too. Alright guys, so the surface of the foam right now is between 81 and 82. I wanted to be able to show you the aerated holes, so I opened up the cover. My hand is 95. We'll keep that on there for 30 or 40 seconds. So obviously your back and other parts of your body might run a little bit hotter than your hand would, but this will just give you a good indication of how quickly this foam is going to disperse heat. And I'm pushing moderately hard down into the foam. There's 30 seconds, so we'll remove my hand. As you can see here, the aerated holes have a cooler temperature, and they're also, if you were to whoosh down and push down on that foam, that will circulate air through that mattress. So as you adjust positions, those aerated holes will really help with air circulation. So the cover or the foam, that's a little different over there. Let me go. So 75 over here, where my handprint wasn't. And it's already down to 77. If I go to one of those aerated holes, it's hard to pinpoint it, but 75, so it's a little bit cooler just on those aerated holes as well. So we're already down to 75. You can faintly see my hand, I guess between 75 and 77. Go over to the cover again. This keeps changing a little bit, but it still gives you a good idea of how quickly it'll disperse. So anything under a minute when it's getting close to the temperature is pretty good. And then also I didn't have the cover laying down, so that'll affect it a little bit more as well. The heat's going to get into that foam layer a little quicker when I don't have the cover there.
Alright, so a quick summary here. Some of the pros of the Hyphen mattress are the medium feel, which is good for all 3 sleeping positions. The foam is very efficient at removing heat. It's slept nice and cool. It also has a 20-year warranty. The industry standard is usually 10. It has good motion reduction, and then it has the additional benefits of the copper-infused foams. Some potential cons or things to note: if you are a stomach-only sleeper, you maybe want to go for something that's a little bit firmer. And then I would say heavier weights, people that are 280 to 300 plus pounds, should explore some other options.
Alright, so in my opinion, I think the people who should consider trying the Hyphen would be those of you out there that like more of a floating, sleeping on top of the mattress feel, but still getting good body conformance. And what I mean is a lot of times memory foam, a high density, slow moving memory foam, you get a little bit more of a body hug feeling and more of a stuck feeling than you're gonna find on a foam like this or a latex foam. So those of you that like to switch positions throughout the night, it's going to be very easy to do that. In addition to that, if you are somebody that likes to sleep in all 3 sleeping positions, the Hyphen will perform great for you. A couple things to maybe note: if you are a stomach sleeper only, I would maybe recommend looking into an option that's a little bit firmer. One other thing to consider, in my opinion, I would say if you are 300 pounds or more, you might want to consider something else that's either thicker than 10 inches or something that has a more dense foam core in it. This has a good foam core, but it's a standard density. So if you are heavier, I would potentially look into some other options. Guys, I hope this mattress review was a huge help. If you have any questions at all, drop me a message below. I'll be happy to answer any questions.